April 2019, Ghana's economic management team held a public lecture at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. And this lecture was led by the former Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The lecture was themed Our Progress, Our Status, Our Future. A day after that lecture, there was another public lecture organized by the Coalition for Restoration that is affiliated to your party on 4th April 2019, and you spoke at that public lecture, which was themed The State of the Ghanaian Economy, Myths and Truths. In your presentation, you put out some data, among which I found a highly misleading data that you put out. And to quote you verbatim, you said, and I quote, Mr. Chairman, the official data from the Ministry of Finance indicates clearly that overall deficit by end year 2016 was 7.8% of GDP, into brackets, 6.1% of new rebased GDP. But the figure you put out, Honorable Nominee, was utterly untrue. And to back this with evidence, if you read the budget statements of 2017, the mid-year budget statement of 2018, and the mid-year budget statement of 2019, the full budget, you will see that page 7, paragraph 14 of the 2017 mid-year budget put that figure at 9.3% of GDP, and not what you quoted. Again, page 12, paragraph 45 of the 2018 mid-year budget put the figure again at 9.3%, and not what you quoted. Lastly, page 3, paragraph 14 of the 2019 full budget statement puts the figure at 9.3%, and not what you quoted. Where did you get that figure you quoted from? Would you consider apologizing to the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and Honorable Nominee, former Vice President?
Honorable Dr. Gideon Boako, it doesn't lie in your mouth to ask the nominee to consider apologizing. So withdraw that from your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I submit to your guidance on this. Honorable Nominee, my question is, you know the enviable office of the Finance Minister that potentially you're going to occupy should come with utmost integrity, honesty, backed by meticulousness, profundity, and analytical precision. In your capacity as minority spokesperson, you misled the public with wrong public data. Can you assure this committee that you are not going to sleep on the job and make some of these data presentational errors that we have even experienced in the past, for which Ghana was charged for some misreporting by the IMF? That's my question, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Gideon Boako has got it very wrong. Very wrong in the sense that he's not privy to the IMF data. And I want to refer him to the IMF staff report for 2018 and 2019. And if you can check now, I want to take him into it. Mr. Chairman, he's wrong. In fact, the very 7.8 fiscal deficit for 2016 was reported by the IMF. Now, Mr. Chairman, the IMF has subsequently even revised the fiscal deficit for 2016 down on cash basis to 6.3%. 6.3%. Mr. Chairman, you know me in this house. I don't just speak. I speak with data. I research before I speak. I use data from independent sources. Ghana was in an IMF program at the time. 2017, the Ministry of Finance presented a budget. They quoted the numbers he's making reference to. I challenged the numbers. In fact, my former boss also challenged the numbers because I was a deputy minister at the time. 2018, they repeated the same inaccurate numbers, and it had become the order of the day. Mr. Chairman,
point of order.
I have a responsibility.
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
I have a responsibility to defend our legacy. And I had a responsibility to defend our legacy. And in defending the legacy, I actually decided to use data from independent sources, the International Monetary Fund. And in doing so, the IMF presented this data. Mr. Chairman, I'll give you this. This is a dashboard I asked the Ministry of Finance to tabulate for me. Ministry of Finance's own data. I did not compute this data. It's coming from Ministry of Finance. According to the same Ministry of Finance, the fiscal deficit, cash basis for 2016, was 6.3% of GDP. Mr. Chairman, this is not coming from me. So the 7.8%, I was extremely charitable, extremely charitable, because I've weighed off 1.5% of GDP. Because that was what the Ministry of Finance has reported. They gave it to me this morning when I asked for it. This is coming from the Ministry of Finance. So there's no basis for me to apologize. I stated a fact. I stated what is coming from the IMF, what I had earlier on objected to, and I've asked the government to consider relook at the numbers again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I convinced my side that there is a need for the new government to proceed to form a government. The president needs his team. So let us not obstruct. Let's cooperate. I still have communications asking me, leader, why are you changing from Tuesday to Monday? I am here to do the people's work with my team. This posture of attack on me, colleagues, Chairman, with the greatest respect, I will not take it anymore. Even my opening remarks had to receive interjections and point of order. When go and watch Bagwin as minority leader, his opening remarks, let's watch the videos. Let's watch Haruna Idrisu. Guys, I don't want a situation where it will be like Markin wants to do this and that. I understand governance. I know governance. And I will support you to form your government. But nobody should make an attempt to use some attacks to frustrate. It won't work. And we are not going to boycott proceedings. As Honorable Governor Agboja once said on the floor, even laying paper, even for him to oppose, he says that there will be chaos. That was his threat. We know what he did to my vice chair. No, it's not payback. I will never do that. I'm not petty. I know what they did to this 67-year-old woman who was then the chair of the appointment committee, our mother. We know what happened. The cameras watched it. So, colleagues, you are now in government. Your duty is tolerance. Tolerance. If you don't want to tolerate us and you don't want to accommodate and you are talking about rules, then we'll also go by the rules strictly. I would end here. Chairman, thank you.
Number one, will you abolish the e-levy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my position on the e-levy is well known. I do not intend to run from it. I've written articles against the e-levy. I championed opposition against e-levy. I still stand by them. Mr. Chairman, the e-levy is neither a direct tax, indirect tax, or an excise tax. I don't know how to classify the e-levy as a tax practitioner. Mr. Chairman, it doesn't mean that I do not recognize that the e-levy brings in certain revenue. But the fact remains that the e-levy retards our progress towards a cash-light economy and the fintech. We need to abolish the e-levy. I have said, and I'm on record to have said, that given the opportunity to abolish the e-levy, I want to restate that position, that if approved as part of the first budget, I'll be privileged and I will announce that we will abolish the e-levy as part of our first budget, recognizing my earlier stance and the commitment that His Excellency the President, President Mahama, said that as part of our 120 days agenda, we will abolish the e-levy. We stand by that, and I can assure you the e-levy will go within the 120 days calendar that we've announced. Thank you.